Have you ever wondered what it would be like to hold all the knowledge of the ancient world in one place? Imagine a single building containing the secrets of mathematics, astronomy, literature, and philosophy from civilizations across the globe. This wasn't just a dream, it was a reality. This was the Great Library of Alexandria, the intellectual heart of the ancient world. Today, we're going on a journey back in time to explore its incredible story, its legendary collection, and the enduring mystery of its ultimate demise. How did one library become the most important place on Earth? And what really happened to it? Let's find out. Our story begins in the 4th century BC with one of history's most ambitious figures, Alexander the Great. As he conquered vast territories from Greece to India, he envisioned a world where cultures and knowledge could merge. On the coast of Egypt, he founded a city that would bear his name forever, Alexandria. While Alexander himself didn't live to see his vision fully realized, his trusted general Ptolemy took over Egypt after his death. It was Ptolemy and his successors who would bring the dream of a universal library to life. Under the Ptolemaic dynasty, Alexandria flourished. It became a bustling cosmopolitan hub of trade and culture. And at its very heart was the Museum, or Institution of the Muses, a research center that was unlike anything the world had ever seen. The Great Library was part of this larger complex. It wasn't just a place to store scrolls. It was a vibrant community of scholars, scientists, and thinkers, all funded by the pharaohs. The rulers of Egypt were obsessed with one goal: to collect every single book in the known world. This wasn't a casual hobby, it was state policy. They went to extreme lengths to acquire texts. Any ship that docked in Alexandria's harbor had its books temporarily seized. Scribes would then frantically copy the manuscripts. The original scrolls were kept for the library, and the fresh copies were returned to the owners. This practice became so famous that it was known as the ship library policy. They also sent agents across the Mediterranean and beyond, hunting for rare texts in book markets, from Athens to Rhodes, paying top dollar for anything they could find. So, just how big was the library's collection? It's hard to say for sure, but ancient estimates are staggering. Some sources claim it held up to 500,000 scrolls. Think about that. Each scroll could contain a work like Homer's Iliad or a treatise on geometry. This wasn't just a collection of Greek texts either. The Ptolemies were keen to gather knowledge from all cultures, translating works from Egypt, Babylon, Persia, and even India into Greek. It was here that the Hebrew Bible was first translated into Greek, a version known as the Septuagint, a monumental task that made these scriptures accessible to the wider world. The minds drawn to the library were as impressive as its collection. It was the ancient world's equivalent of a top-tier university and a cutting-edge research institute combined. Eratosthenes, the head librarian, was the first person to accurately calculate the circumference of the Earth, using just a stick, a well, and some brilliant geometry, all from his desk in Alexandria. Euclid, the father of geometry, wrote his foundational work Elements here, a book that would be the standard textbook for over 2,000 years. Archimedes, the brilliant inventor and mathematician, likely studied here and corresponded with its scholars. Doctors like Herophilus made groundbreaking discoveries about the human body, studying anatomy and the nervous system. The library wasn't just preserving knowledge, it was actively creating it, but this golden age couldn't last forever. The story of the library's decline is complex and often misunderstood. There's a popular myth that it was destroyed in a single, catastrophic fire. The truth is far more tragic. It was a slow, painful death by 1,000 cuts, spanning several centuries. The first major blow came in 48 BC during Julius Caesar's civil war in Alexandria. While fighting for his life, Caesar's forces set fire to ships in the harbor. The flames spread and, according to some accounts, destroyed a warehouse containing scrolls meant for the library, or possibly a part of the library itself. While this was a significant loss, it wasn't the end. The library survived and was even restocked. The real decline began with internal strife and a shift in priorities. Later, Ptolemaic rulers were less interested in funding intellectual pursuits and more concerned with political power struggles. In the 3rd century AD, the city of Alexandria was caught in the crossfire of Roman imperial conflicts. The Emperor Aurelian, while quelling a revolt, destroyed the district where the main library was located. This was a devastating blow, and many scholars believe this was the moment the original Great Library was effectively lost. Even then, a daughter library at a temple called the Serapeum continued to serve as a center of learning. But the rise of militant Christianity brought new threats. In 391 AD, a zealous Christian patriarch named Theophilus incited a mob to destroy the Serapeum, which they saw as a pagan monument. The scrolls within, a priceless remnant of the great collection, were likely scattered or destroyed in the chaos. This event is often cited as the final symbolic end of Alexandria's intellectual legacy. By the time of the Arab conquest of Egypt in the 7th century, it's unlikely there was much left of the Great Library to be burned. So, what did we lose? We lost countless works of literature, including plays by masters like Sophocles and Euripides, that are now just titles. We lost vast amounts of history, including detailed accounts of the ancient world seen through different eyes. We lost scientific and medical texts that could have contained knowledge we had to rediscover centuries later. The destruction of the Library of Alexandria wasn't just a loss of books, it was a loss of memory, a severing of our connection to the brilliance of the ancient world. But the story doesn't end in tragedy. The idea of the Library of Alexandria, the dream of a universal repository of human knowledge, never died. It inspired countless libraries throughout history, from the great libraries of the Islamic Golden Age to the national libraries of today. And in a way, we've finally rebuilt it. The Internet, with projects like Wikipedia and Google Books, is the modern-day Library of Alexandria, decentralized, digital collection of knowledge accessible to almost anyone on Earth. In 2002, a new, magnificent library, the Bibliotheca Alexandrina, was opened in Alexandria, near the site of the ancient original. It stands as a tribute to its predecessor and a symbol of the enduring power of knowledge. The legacy of the Great Library reminds us that knowledge is precious, but it's also fragile. It needs to be protected, shared, and most importantly, cherished. It teaches us that the pursuit of understanding is one of humanity's noblest endeavors. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the past. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. What other historical topics would you like to see covered? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.